Alrighty, my friends, we are all back. We're all liquored up and also fed up. I know Ulrich's liquored up, right?
We'll see.
See how liquored up he is. But I know that Evander just enjoyed his meal, so we are ready to jump into whatever it is that Izmar wants to tell us.
Yeah, so you do enjoy your meal, but you do also see that your pie, Evander, your pastry pie, is already on its own little platter. It's already on the table. It's cut into 8 slices, and it even has one of those little pie spatula things. Is there an actual term for that?
Pie server or something? I don't know.
Yeah,
Something like
you
that.
know what I mean.
Yeah.
We all been Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So you see Ismark kind of put down his silverware. He takes a long drink from his wine goblet, and he goes on. So I suppose we should get down to the business at hand. No, I'm sure you all have questions, and I will be more than happy to address those. But I feel I must unfortunately ask for your assistance, since you are outsiders. I feel like you might be the only people that I can turn to. Connor, is there something you wanted to do or say?
Yes. So detect magic lasts for 10 minutes. I just wanted to make sure when he moved to this room, he's especially going to look at Galen and make sure there's no magic going on there.
Is there any magic going on, Galen?
The only magic is how quickly I ate that food. Other than that, no.
No hair magic.
And what about the pie? Does that have magical?
Yeah,
Okay.
you are getting a faint little magical aura coming from that, and it does seem to be like of the enchantment type.
Okay.
Ulrich would have also been secretly casting detect magic in this room, so I just get the same information, right? Okay.
Yep, same.
Being honest, marking off my spell slot.
And Evander is scarfing this pie. He has been waiting all night. He's just.
And Tasso, you're giving some food to Scruffles there.
Absolutely. He shall
And
not want.
Yeah, he's looking between you and Ismark, like just looking, hoping, waiting. But the moment you kind of put food down on a plate in front of him, he kind of sniffs it. He looks at it, gives it a little lick, takes a step back, smells it again. It takes him a little bit to kind of actually begin to eat it, but once he does, he completely finishes the plate and licks it clean.
Okay.
What else is everyone doing before I continue with this Ismark monologue?
When he doesn't see any magic, Conrad's actually going to cast See Invisibility, which will replace the detect magic.
Okay. I don't see it.
And do you do that like secretly? Do we see and hear you do that?
No, he's not concerned with secrecy. He just does it.
Just casting magic at the dinner table.
Well, this would be like right before he sat down, probably.
Okay. Well, yeah, if you don't notice anything.
What is
Okay.
Arena doing?
She's enjoying her meal. She's looking at each of you very closely. You can tell that she's a little maybe confused because she wasn't expecting people to be here tonight. But she's just watching and listening and looking over to her brother to kind of take the lead.
And if it makes any difference, Ulrich does not drink the wine.
Okay. That's fine.
Conrad will drink the wine, but he will not eat the pie.
Anyone else?
Evander's eating all of it. Ah.
Eating and drinking, just like a true bard.
That's right.
Enjoy. I mean, you only live life once, right? YOLO.
He was,
Yeah, were they
you know,
How-
working all night with singing, so he's got to work off that.
How
Hunger.
good does this pie smell
I mean, it smells, especially since it's
in
probably been a
comparison
while.
to the food?
So
Is it
the
an
food
upgrade?
is really fresh. It's just made, it's like chicken and herbs and butter, maybe a little splash of white wine in there.
Oh.
The pie, though, it does smell sweet, but not like sickly sweet. You're looking at the crust, which seems very, very buttery and nice. So it's a good looking pie. That's all I can say. I
Okay.
mean, whether anyone likes, pecans, I guess we'll have to figure that out. But that's basically what it is. It's pecan pie.
Well, with Galen's last interaction with Evandor and the pie, he's seen the Evandor just scarf this down. He's going to not take the pie and let Evandor have it all.
Oh.
He's a little pissy about
Wow.
the fact that he didn't let him cut it out on the road.
How many slices is Evander eating? Just
Oh.
one?
He's gonna have seconds. He'll have seconds.
Okay, he'll have seconds. Okay.
Kind of trip you want. Yeah, Ulrich doesn't eat the pie either, so Conrad might have noticed that.
Okay.
Can I really make sure that I notice that her hair is red?
Yeah.
At the roots?
At the roots.
And I wasn't just imagining that?
Yeah. You don't even need to roll for that. You take a second look and you look, from her eyes to her hair, to, the crown of her head and back, and yeah, it's you can tell that it's coming out red.
Okay.
Okay, last call. All right. So Ismark takes a glance at his sister Irina, and then turns to you. He's going to turn to you, Connor, because it's been indicated to him that you are the group's leader. So he kind of looks.
I don't think that's been indicated to Connor.
He's been volunteered.
I'm sure he accepts nonetheless.
You're just gonna roll with it. And he says again. He'll reiterate. There's not very many people within the village that I can turn to now, and quite frankly, I feel your arrival is a sign from the Morning Lord himself. I'm hoping, I'm praying that you would be able to assist me. He takes a quick glance at Irina. He says, firstly, I would like to bury my father. He's been sitting in that room for 3 days now, and the man needs a proper burial.
It is shameful for the departed to be left as he has been.
You see Irina
I'm curious,
nod her head and wipe a tear away.
why are the villagers so reluctant to help you?
Ismark takes a quick glance at Irina, who nods her head and then looks down. She's kind of like playing with the leftover food that's on her plate. They are worried that if they help me and my sister, that they will garner the ire of the devil.
Why would
they are-
helping you?
It's a little complicated, but they already believe that he's taking people from town. All the people that have gone missing, they blame on him, or at least his followers.
And with the
They
mouthful of
know-
food, Tasso will look and be like, "What? How did he die?"
They know that he almost says it, that he cashes himself. They know that the devil desires my sister. They are afraid But if they help, they too might meet the same end as my father, who was. He had a weak heart, and so when Strahd sent his minions, sorry,
Minions? What minions?
the wolves, ever present, the wolves attacked. He sent the forest folk to drive us out. My father couldn't take it. He tried his best to protect my sister and this house, but in the end, his heart failed him.
But Strahd is so powerful. How is your sister still here?
At this point, Irina speaks up. He says he loves me, and that he wishes I would go with him of my own free will. But I will never do this.
How could he expect that if he murdered your father?
I do not believe he is of sound mind.
At this point, Evander wants to speak up and say, earlier this evening, after I performed, I spoke with Sorvia, and she talked about Strahd having many brides. Is this something that you all know about?
He calls them brides. They are fellow vampires. Not as old or strong as him, but they're his vampire brides.
And does he want to make Irina another one of these brides?
Izmar speaks up and says, over my dead body will he do that. But I do believe that is his end goal.
Are these current brides women who he's taken from this town before?
I do not know them personally, so I could not say.
Is there a common factor, laddie? Yes, I guess it would be laddie. I'm talking to him. Is there a common factor, laddie, in regards to the brides that he does select?
I'm not certain. I've never met them.
Is
In
there a
what-
certain age?
I guess you would have to ask the devil that himself.
Don't worry, I will.
All I know is that he desires my sister, and no.
How do you expect
The
to resist
missing
him?
girl.
I heard two different questions.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Okay. I said, how do you expect to resist Strahd with how powerful he is and the entire town being afraid of him?
At this point, he kind of puts his arms on his elbows on the table, leans in, and says, I wish to get my sister to a place of safety, a place of holiness that cannot be found here in the village of Barovi. The only options are, after speaking with Father Danovich, would be the chapel in Valaki. Even Valaki itself, it's well fortified, or the Abbey of St. Macorvia, outside of Kresk.
And these places have the power to resist Strahd?
That is my hope. That is our belief. That they would at least provide her some type of protection, more than what's here. It's further away from the castle
Heard.
as well, so that's got to help.
We've heard Velaki before.
Yes.
We've heard of
Consecrated?
Kresk before too.
I'm
doesn't-
sorry, Michael, what were you saying?
I was saying we've heard that before. Didn't somebody say it was holy ground or consecrated ground?
I don't know if anyone said that. They said it was.
I think the guy who picked us up did.
He
Yeah.
said that I could find good performing jobs in Valaki. Evander remembers that.
Okay.
Connor, what were you gonna say?
I just said we'd heard of Kresk before too. I think also from Laszlo. He mentioned the Abbey.
Yes, these were the only places that I think she would possibly be protected, or at least a little bit safe. Out
But
of his
doesn't Strahd have power over all of Barovia? Doesn't he control the mists and bring people here to do as he wants?
that is what the rumors say. But leaving her here is not an option. If I could just hide somewhere.
Was your father's disagreement with the fiend only related to Irina, or was there more to it?
My father definitely did not want my sister to go to the devil.
But had he had any problems with the fiend before this?
No. Not that he shared with me.
And you mentioned that the Burgomeister's job is to collect the taxes. What taxes does Strahd expect you to deliver? Or the fiend, pardon me.
There's property taxes. There's taxes on goods. We have to collect those from our town folk and deliver it to his tax collectors.
Just wealth, then, nothing else?
Correct.
Is
And
there?
why is your
Go
Sorry,
ahead. No, you go. Go ahead.
why is your house in this state? Is this the result of the last attack from Strahd?
It's the result of many attacks of the devil.
When I performed at the tavern earlier this evening, there were many people who seemed, I don't want to toot my own horn, but I can get almost anyone on the dance floor. And there were some people who seemed reluctant to barely even move. Is there some spell or some influence Strahd has on the people here?
Irina responds, "It has nothing to do with the devil himself, but I fear with maybe the land? I'm not certain, but it would be rude to say it in front of them, but they are what we call mistouched."
Mistouched.
What does that mean?
Well, I'm sure you saw them. I think that would speak for itself. They are lifeless. They are joyless. They go through life in a fog.
Did this
And
Did you say
happen?
mist touched?
Did they go in the
Mist?
mist? Is that what happened?
No, it's just how you were born.
So they were born here in Barovia.
Well, yes, most people are. Tassa, what were you going to say?
I was making sure I heard correctly. Mist, M-I-S-T, mistborn,
Yeah, mist-touched.
mist touched.
Yeah.
And what about people that are brought here through the mists? Can they become mist touched?
Mm. She looks at Ismark and then looks back at you. Not to my knowledge, but most of those people don't survive.
Why not?
I guess fate.
And what exactly do you want us to do to help you?
Ismark responds, "Firstly, if you could help us bury my father, we could do that at dawn. After that, take Arwina away from here, away from the Chateau of Ravenloft."
You couldn't have.
No.
And what's to become of you then, laddie? Are you going with?
I still have to deal with the missing people. I still have to deal with the town folk. I have to take over the mantle that once was held by my father. So, and he kind of looks at Irina, and you can see his hand move over like next to her, as you would imagine they're grasping hands. As much as I would love to take her someplace safe, I can't do it alone. No one here will help. I
What
will
of?
be entrusting you guys to do this, but it is not your choice. If you don't want to, I understand.
What of this Madame Eva? We've heard she is a seer. Have you talked to her?
She's well known. I have not spoken to her. I have not dared leave my sister in a long, long time.
Is she here in the
I've
town?
never- No, she is outside of. Pause.
Mm-hmm.
Da, 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 da. She is about a day's walk away. Her encampment never moves, which is very strange for Vestani. And Irina kind of nods, like, "Yeah, that's very weird." Um, her encampment is outside of the Sears Pool area.
That was the Sears pool?
Sears, like
Yeah.
Sear. Yeah, yeah.
TSR.
Okay.
And if
I'd written Tears Pool.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I had. Tears pool?
Sears pool, I guess, like seer.
Sears.
Okay.
It's a Sears.
Sear, yes.
Mhm.
And if we help you, then we will be crossing the devil, yes?
True. I will not lie to you. Yes, he will not like your involvement in keeping Irina from him.
And what will he do in retaliation to us for helping you?
I don't know his mind. But I do know he does not wish any harm to come to my sister.
And
But
knowing all this, you brought us here. Aren't we in danger just by being here and talking to you?
you're welcome to leave if you do feel that way.
They have defended against Strahd multiple times.
We do
We're
our
probably
best.
safer here than anywhere.
And at least here you know you're not among spies who will go and tell your whereabouts and your discussions to the devil.
Why does Strahd bring people here through the mists?
I'm not entirely sure he knows.
But they
What do you mean?
always disappear. Every outsider always disappears.
Not all of them. There is and he looks at Irina like, what was that guy's name? It was another half elf bard who came through not maybe about over a year ago. I believe he is still in Valaki.
Really?
I
Immediately toss a glance over to Evander, like, do we like the look of, do we know any half elf bards?
Yeah, I know. I'm trying
Like,
to like think.
how rare are they that we maybe have crossed?
if nothing else, if you could just help me bury my father, that will be enough. If you don't wish to go any further, then that is fine. But as I've said, you're our last hope. And I personally feel that this maybe was the reason why you were brought here. Is to
Can we get a sense if he's being forthright, he's being truthful at this point?
Yeah, what's your insight modifier?
What's what my insight modifier?
Yeah.
Oh god. 1.
Okay. Yeah, you don't get the sense like he's trying to hide anything from you. You do feel he's being pretty sincere, but you also kind of pick up on like he knows this is a fucking long shot. Like this may not work, but it's the last ditch effort. It's his last play. He's gonna try to do what he can.
Right, these are the cards. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And if we help bury your father, isn't Strahd going to know and be angry with us?
He kind of leans back in his chair and says, I will say this of Strahd. He is a man of law and ritual. In fact, since our father has passed, there's not been any attacks upon our house. I do believe he would allow us to bury our father and pay proper respects.
Can I see if I believe him?
Yeah, you said 4 is your modifier?
Mhm. Yes.
Oh. Yeah, you believe him.
Okay.
Evander wants to actually turn to Irina and say, your brother has talked a lot about what he wants for you.
Mm.
I know that you say you don't want to be taken by Strahd, but is this what you want? Do you want to run to another place? Do you think you'll be safe if you leave here?
She looks, quick glance at Izmar and then meets your eyes. And no, I am not safe. As I'm sure you saw as you walked from the tavern to our home here. We were ever in the shadow of the Devil's Castle. I do feel the further away I get, I might stand a chance, but I feel no matter what, no matter where I am at, there will still be a jail of some sort. This is the destiny that Strahd has put upon me.
And what kind of dangers do you expect on the road to this monastery? Why is it something that you couldn't have done by yourself? If Strahd is so powerful, what can we do to help you?
One, you are many, where Izmar is just one. And as much as my father has taught me, I am still not as skilled with a rapier as I wish. And as he's mentioned, no one else here will. The closest, we couldn't even get to Valaki during the day. He's worried that without, she looks at Izmar, without proper protection, it wouldn't be worth moving me.
How would we be able to survive the nights out here any better than anyone else? We have heard how dangerous it is after true dark. Could we even get you there?
But you are heroes, no? If you were not, you would not be here.
What do you mean?
That's why you're here, no? I mean, is that not right? And she looks at Ismark like kind of confused, like is that not why you've passed through the mist? You've been taken through the mist is to be a challenge.
Yes, multiple times, I believe, but from what we've seen of what the devil can do, I don't know if how we'll fare any much better. Evander's starting to sweat a little bit because he still kind of remembers
Having flashbacks, huh?
a fireball's blowing him up, you know.
But even if we just get to Valaki, we can all just stay there. It is fortified. And the Burgermeister there, he does a lot of, from what we hear, he does a lot of good to stay on Strahd's good side.
But would he still be on Strahd's good
Am I
side?
understanding correctly?
Go ahead, Zach. What was that?
Am I understanding correctly? You think the reason that people come through the mists is to challenge Strahd?
Yes, which is why none of them last very long.
But isn't Strahd the one who brings people through the mists?
That is what we have been told.
So this is some game to Strahd?
Who told you this?
Those are just the rumors. Everyone knows that here in Barovia. We have people, outsiders, they come, they go.
Are they ever seen again?
No.
Have you ever heard of anybody having any success even challenging Strahd?
There was one. We don't know what happened to him, but again, the rumors are Strahd still defeated him. His body was never found.
What was his name?
No one knows his name. The Mad Mage is what they call him now.
Mad Mage.
I cannot speak for the rest of my party here, but I will do what I can to ensure your sister's safety. To whatever
Izmar,
ends.
like his face lights up. He kind of like has to contain himself, but you can tell he's kind of like on the verge of tears. He's really relieved that at least someone is willing to help him.
Can
I will-
we go ahead?
I
Because
will-
Orc's just stuttering.
Okay.
And I will ensure that your father is properly laid to rest.
And at that, Irina does just openly cry. You get the sense that she was very close to her father.
Orc looks at the other people in his party and says, "Can we talk about this as a group first before making any decisions? This is very risky and dangerous."
My decision is my own. You are free to do as you see fit.
I am resolute in this decision, Daddy. To whatever ends.
Dwarves. God save me from the stubbornness of dwarves, huh?
Evander kind of is looking around a little. Well, I guess if Galen's in, so am I.
Hang on, we should at least talk to Madame Eva first. We were told to go see her.
Izmar says Madame Eva's more than a day's away. Well, less than a day's walk here. You would walk the entire night.
Do you have horses?
No, we have one draft horse.
Are there any horses or carts we can get from the town?
I would not recommend you traveling at if you could help.
We could stay the night, go tomorrow, talk to Madame Eva.
My father could be buried at dawn, and then you guys could go.
Is Madame Eva the same direction as Valaki?
Yes, there's only one road. Pretty much. It
And
all
why not
goes.
both?
So we gotta run into her at some point, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Then you could bury your father. We could go on the road to Valaki, talk to Madame Eva, and at that point, after speaking with her, finally decide what we're going to do.
That would be fine with me as long as you promise to protect Irina.
I promise.
Will we be targeted just for being with you on the road to see Madame Eva?
I do not know the devil's mind, but again, in all honesty, I do think
Ulrich,
what were you gonna say there?
my apologies, it's Mark. Please continue.
I was just going to say that it is in all likelihood that one, you will encounter the regular dangers of Barovia. On top of that, yes, Strahd will have eyes on you.
Then what can we expect? What are the regular dangers?
What do you, I am not Strahd himself. All that I can tell you is what I know.
Do you
And I
know?
know that I'm putting you in danger, but if you're willing to accept this, then that I'm eternally grateful. But it is what it is.
Do you know of any way to delay or hide anything from Strahd's eyes. You say they're everywhere. Is there anything he
Especially
doesn't see?
in town. If you could sneak out, that would probably be your best bet. If he still thinks that Irina is here in this home, we might be able to fool him.
At this point, it seems obvious that at least wolves and ravens are his spies. I would.
Oh, Zach, that hotel
assume
internet's not working so well.
nearly any animal could be.
Think we got that?
Yeah, I get the yes.
I think we may have lost him. But to wrap up, I think Zach said pretty much watch out. Any animal can be one of his spies.
Mhm.
Hello?
Yeah, we hear you, Zach.
You're lagging really bad. But unless there's any final, like I think Ismark has said as much as he knows and possibly could. Same with Irina. So unless there's anything else, you guys will just depart and prepare for bed.
Okay.
Depart and prepare for battle.
To sleep.
Okay.
To battle in bed.
I thought you said to battle. I was like, what?
However,
Hello?
as we can hear you.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Mhm.
Your video is very laggy though.
Okay. I think I missed a little bit there, but Connard was going to say to Ulrich that Strahd gave us 3 rules to follow. Oh, pardon me. The devil gave us 3 rules to follow, and helping these people would violate none of them. But on that note, Master Ismark, would you happen to have a copy of the tax code of Barovia?
As the DM, I'm gonna say I knew it was gonna be fucking Zach who asked about the tax code. Yes.
He gave us 3 rules, and one of them revolved around the tax
I was
code.
gonna say Zach. But yes, I will give that to you eventually. On that note though, Ismark does also ask if there's anything else that you need, if you need further equipment. I know there's the mercantile, but their prices are outrageous. But
As a matter of fact, if you wouldn't happen to have some incense and charcoal, would you?
with charcoal, yes, we do have some of that. Incense, we might be able to procure from Father Donovich at the chapel tomorrow morning.
Do you happen to have any fireflies just laying around,
That's
or some phosphorescent something?
Does Galen have a component pouch? He
No.
probably does.
Or a focus?
Yeah, if you have a focus, then you don't need a. The only as long as you have an arcane focus, or you have your holy symbol, you're a fucking paladin.
Okay. Can I use it? Because it
That's
told
what
me
you
in order to do this, I need a firefly or phosphorescent moss.
or you need to have your focus, and your holy symbol acts as your focus.
Does it? Okay.
Yes. The only thing you need to pay attention to is if there's any gold, like if something gets used
Gotcha.
up and it
Okay.
costs money, then yes, you would need to have
Perfect.
that
Okay.
item.
That works. I'd
Okay.
like to toss a look to toss. Can I toss a look over to Tasso because he hasn't actually said anything up to this point, and just go, "What would you and Scruffles like to do, laddie?" Because they're essentially
mean-
one now. They're one entity.
I mean, it's not like we're doing anything else here. I think that we should escort toward Valaki and talk to Madame Eva.
And Ismark speaks up. And he looks at you, Tassel, and says, "The road is no place for a domesticated animal. If you wish, I could look after Scruffles. Is that his name?" And you all hear this knock, banging at the door. Ismark, please. And Irina and Ismark look at each other. Irina kind of sighs, but she gets up to open the door. And you begin. You can hear the door open, and you can hear the sound of a woman crying. Irina, where is your brother? I need to speak to him, please. You can hear Irina kind of giving some soft, like, "Oh, it's okay, hold on. Just stay here." And then it comes back in. Ismark, it is Mary, and she is very upset. Suddenly, this woman pops into the room behind.
Do I hear the name Mary?
Yeah.
Do we all hear that?
Yeah.
If I hear the name Mary, I instantly like toss something over Scruffles. Like I don't want him because that's the name I associate with the woman who wants Scruffles back.
Okay.
So,
Scruffles is like suddenly very still. Like, I don't know what's going on. I'm a little.
yeah, I toss like my cloak over him or something. And I'm like,
Ulrich gives you a weird look. Like, what?
But this woman comes in. She's clearly, she's been crying for a very long time. Her eyes are red. Her face is puffy. Her nose is red, and you can still see like it's running a little bit. And she basically falls at the feet of Ismark and is pleading with him. "Ismark, please, you're the current burgomaster of our village. Please find my daughter. I know somewhere out there she is still alive. Please." Ismark does his best to console her. It kind of looks at you like, she tries to lift her up, and she sees the rest of you. Are you here to help with the investigations of the missing people, my missing daughter? Please. Please. Can you help him?
We are not familiar with this issue of missing people.
Ismark, you tell me you have people and you sit here eating dinner while my daughter is missing and possibly dead somewhere. This is ridiculous. And she begins to her emotions are clearly rising, and she's crying, and Ismark is doing her best. Like, "Okay, Mary, can we please just talk about this later?" "No, it's been days and I haven't seen my Gertruda. I need you to find my daughter. Is that not your job? You're supposed to be protecting us, and yet you let the devil take our people." Finally, he kind of pushes her back out into the foyer, and you hear him say, "I will call on you tomorrow. First thing, after my father's burial, I will come over. But for now, do your best to rest." And he closes the door. And you hear the woman still sobbing as she's walking away from the home. Ismark comes back in. "I'm sorry. She is quite an emotional woman, even before the disappearance of her daughter. I will deal with it tomorrow, though. For now, I think we should rest, no?"
Is her daughter in the same situation as Arena here?
No. Her daughter is probably in the same situation with a few other people, if I'm being honest. Gone missing about once a month, actually. Once a month, someone goes missing.
These
So
Barovians?
she's
Long.
dead.
She is probably dead. And it's been happening less than a year now. We just assume it's the devil or one of his people.
Does anybody ever come back?
No, we've never seen them again.
Are these native Barovians, or are these
Are there
also new people?
No,
Strangers.
These are people that some of which I've grown up with, but we've never been able to find what's happening or where they're going. So
Are there any commonalities between the people who've disappeared? Are they all women or all children?
no, it's all over the place. I would have to confer with my papers on that, but again, I'll do that tomorrow.
One thing to check: is it ever a mist touched, or is it always somebody else?
I know Gertruda was not mistouched. Some of them, the others though, I do believe they were.
Okay.
So it's I guess it's a mix. But I shall retire. I am tired.
One
And
last thing. Does this mean anything to you? And I pull out the Electrum coin that has Strahd's symbol on it.
and he will pull out his pouch and dump it on top of the table, and you'll see that the coins are exactly the same. Yes, this is what we use here in Barovia.
Does it mean anything if a raven brings a coin to a person?
I mean, I don't know, but that is a little strange. But ravens are. It's bad luck to kill a raven. Supposedly, they carry the souls of the dead. So maybe it was just good luck. I don't know.
One other thing. Do you have water for a bath?
Yes. If you wish to have a bath, we do have water.
Thank you.
Humans and their baths.
All right, so Ulrich gets his bath. Anything else you guys want to do tonight before you retire?
Yeah, as far as
and Irina are already off on their own.
so we all kind of go upstairs. Ulrich wants to say, I know there's room enough for each of us, but I don't think that any of us should be sleeping alone.
I'd like to speak to everybody anyway before we retire.
All right, say what you gotta say.
Well, I'm gonna wait till we're
I assume that's
all
where
in a
you
room.
Yeah, we can go up into one of the rooms.
Yeah. I'm gonna raid the pantries.
Okay, for
I'm looking for anything that's wheat and barley based. It's time to make. If I'm doing this, I gotta really concoct some strong alcohol.
Wait, are you making alcohol?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Anything that's I can get a sense of, grapes.
so you will be able to find some barley.
Okay.
Most of it's already ground, but you do find some that isn't.
That's fine. I'll just set up shop with my brewing kit.
Okay. So you'll take some time to do that. Ulrich will go ahead, take his bath.
Oh, we're gonna talk first, right?
Gonna make
So
some
after you're
dwarf
done
Rice
brewing,
Krispies.
after you're done bathing,
Oh, okay.
you guys can set up wherever you want, have your conversation, and then head off to bed.
Ulrich is gonna ask Tasso if he's assuming that Galen and Evander are bunking together.
Yeah, sure. We're used to sharing a room, if nothing
Yeah.
else.
Well, remember, I sleep in a chair, so yeah.
Yeah.
Ulrich's gonna ask Tasso if he wants to share a room with Scruffles,
Yeah, Scruffles and I can have a room.
but with Ulrich too.
Oh, yeah, I don't care.
Thanks.
Who's gonna take Ulrich?
Mm.
Guess it's
We will
Tom.
invite Connard.
In Dwarvish, we will ask Connor to
Of course,
join
in Dwarvish. This is the Dwarvish room, Connard.
us.
Okay, so you guys have all met up in a single room to have your
A big room? Okay.
Well, whatever room, it doesn't really matter.
Sure,
at the moment.
sure.
Mhm.
We're in a
Go
room.
ahead and have your conversation.
So there's a few things I wanted to say. As I said at the dinner table, we need to assume that any animals around us could be reporting to the devil. So be careful what you say when we're in a place where they might overhear.
Present company excluded. I scratch Scruffles on the back of the head.
Connor doesn't say anything to that, but he does say,
Scruffles is part of
also,
this world, though, isn't he? Part of these lands. He can be
exactly.
trusted.
I wouldn't say so. I think as long as he seems to be behaving as a normal dog would, it's probably safe. But as I said, at this point I wouldn't trust any animal.
He is a
Also, Vistani, I think we need to be very careful what we say or do around any Vistani, and assume anything that we do or say will be reported to Strahd. And I had something else, and I can't remember what it was.
Did it have to do with the seer that we were going to see?
No, not specifically. It was more of a general thing.
Okay.
Well, when you
Yes. The memories we all have that aren't ours. I suspect the devil may not know of them, so definitely don't discuss those when we aren't sure that it's safe to do so.
Or did the devil
And
give them to us?
that's possible too, but I'm inclined to think that there's something to Ismark's theory that perhaps Lathander had a hand in it. Um,
on that note, though, upon talking about your past Barovian memories, you each recall the face of the red-headed woman you found. And it's remarkably similar to Irina's.
Wonder I'm in love with her.
I thought you were in love with Mirabelle. Come on now, really?
Arena was my first love, though. And I've been searching for her ever since. Okay. Would I, okay. I guess with that flashback, it would actually just kind of reinforce the fact that I really have to protect her.
There's something else to consider. If we're going to talk to Madame Eva and ask her all kinds of questions, remember they said that Madame Eva is good friends with Strahd, that he visits her. So I guess we have to assume that she's going to tell him whatever we ask her.
She is a Vistani, they said.
She's our only link to anything. And it maybe wouldn't have made so much of a difference before, but now we're allying with Strahd's resistors, to say the least.
Maybe we just avoid her altogether then.
I don't think we can do that. We need some kind of answers.
How do we know that the answers that she's going to provide won't lead us to our deaths then, laddie?
I think Strahd would have had us dead already if that's what he really wanted.
Agreed. We'll certainly consider her words carefully and not take them at face value, but I don't think we can afford to turn away a potential source of information.
We don't
Fair
have to
enough.
believe her.
Just in case there's something to the locals' custom of not using his name for it bringing his attention. I think it would be best if we did the same.
That
All right.
sounds good.
Anything else? I don't mean to rush you guys, but there's a lot to get through.
Okay.
All right.
I'm just going to start to peel off my armor and put myself in the corner in a chair, holding my
Actually-
axe.
Oric says something before they leave. Connor, what's that book you were looking at yesterday in the wagon?
I'm not sure exactly, but somebody that I knew, I think, was looking for it.
Someone you knew. Did you bring it with you?
No.
You found it here in Barovia?
Yes, in the destroyed wagon.
Then how could someone you know be looking for it?
That's an excellent question, and I have no answer.
All right.
Leave it at that.
So you all head into your respective places of bed, sleep.
Mm-hmm. Evander will take this big bed on the left over here.
Are we specifying?
You don't really
I
need
think that might be Izmar's
want
bed.
to. Yeah, go ahead.
Then Evander here splashing, and there's Ulrich in the bath. Oh my god.
All right. So there is something I do want to go through before we start the next morning. Evander,
Mm-hmm.
you partook in the pie.
2 pieces.
I want you to describe what would Evander find to be like the best dreams that make him, that bring up a sense of happiness, a sense of comfort, a sense of joy. What would he be dreaming about?
If it's joy as he would feel like no worry, it would probably be back to his childhood, remembering traveling around with his father and mother from town to town, as his father would tell stories to the people in the inns that he would go to. He was a traveling historian, and Evander loved to sit and listen and then talk with the people who came to listen to his father. Basically, getting to mingle with all sorts of different types of people and then having his father there to tell him every question he ever had about a person or a historical thing or a favorite hero of the past. So it'd be traveling with his father and feeling safe with him wherever he went.
Okay. All right. And that's exactly what you dream about the entire night. That sense of comfort, that sense of safety, that sense of awe of being, witness to your father's like oratory, like magic. Like he just, that charisma just holds a crowd. And you knew from such a young age that this was something pretty impressive. Not very many people can do this. And you just are filled with the sense of that could be me one day. I want to be just like him. So throughout the night, you continually dream of your father and relive those past memories.
Mm-hmm.
Tasso.
Mhm.
You also end up having a dream, which may be different or strange for you because maybe you're not one to really dream a lot. But what you see in shades of gray are 3 women sat in front of a very small campfire. The one on the far left, she's sitting and she's weaving. They're all at the very start, very young, beautiful, vibrant women. The one in the middle, you can see her looking up towards the sky. And the one on the far right, She is skinning what looks to be like a rabbit that still has a snare around it. And behind them, I will show you what you're seeing. But as this vividly colored picture comes up behind them, you can see them aging. And basically, they've become crones in a matter of seconds. And the image behind them, behind each of them, seems to be, at one point, what was a stained glass window that's been shattered. And their eyes look up and they see directly into you. And you get this feeling of ancient power that has waned and is screaming for help, but no sound ever comes from their mouths. And then the mist rolls in and obscures them from you. Connor, you also have a dream. In this dream, you see this pale, pale woman. Her skin is tight against her skull. Her eyes are sunken. She has this long, black hair, but it's dry, it's brittle, it doesn't look healthy. And she stands at the bow of a small rowboat that's being held aloft and moved forward basically by skeletons. Skeletal hands are outreaching, holding it up, moving it along, and it's basically a lake of bones. And upon her chest, in this embroidery that's on her robe, you see a symbol. And you recognize this symbol. And I'll tell you what it means in whispers.
Secrets.
But this symbol, this image, it seems to click in your mind like an epiphany just hit you. And then it too just kind of fades into the background. And then it is morning. You guys awake? Breakfast, the scent of breakfast is coming from downstairs. It is actually before dawn. You are awoken by Izmar and Irina, respectively. They come knocking at your doors. They say there's time for a quick breakfast, and then we must take our father to the graveyard. He needs to be buried at first dawn's light. They have already moved the father into a wagon that's being carried by their one draft horse, apparently. And they say, please take a few minutes, eat what you can, and then we should go. I assume you guys are going to do this?
Yeah. Avender eat a quick breakfast and then go prepare.
Right. So
We will skip ahead. You guys go through town. It is silent. It is quiet. All the windows are boarded up. It's still before dawn itself. You can just barely see a faint glimmer of the sun. You guys make your way to the church that is here in Barovia. Yes, Tasso.
Can I keep an eye out for that raven?
Absolutely.
as an actually asked, did we see any ravens during the burial?
You guys haven't gotten to the burial yet.
Oh, okay, we're still good.
You're on your way to the
Gotcha.
church. You've just arrived. It is cold. It's not very windy, but it's still very overcast. It's the rain. In fact, it's a mixture of rain and snow as you arrive. You come to the church. The door opens, and a man of like middle, like in his 40s, 50s, kind of approaches, opens the door. He comes out and he greets Izmar first, and then makes his way to Irina. You can hear him kind of saying softly his condolences, and I'm so glad that we're finally able to put your father at rest. See, sometimes they put too much information in these things that I don't want you guys to know about.
Well, Evander would like to actually walk up to Irina and ask for her permission to sing a song of remembrance for her father, as he's feeling, especially after that dream, that he feels like remembering his father has given him some peace, and he wants to impart that in this ceremony.
She smiles and she puts her hand on your shoulder and says, "That would be greatly appreciated. I would really like to thank you for the offer."
Be my pleasure, Irina.
This is Father Donovich. He will see to the last rites of my father. And Donovich kind of looks at each of you, a little concerned, but he gets back to the matter at hand, which is to put the dead at rest. And he advises you to go ahead and bring the father's coffin to the back, to the graveyard. There's already a plot that's been prepared. You see Izmar begin to pull out the father's coffin. Does anyone help him?
Yes,
I would.
Connor
Definitely
will help.
Okay. You guys make your way to the prepared burial site. The body is first put on this little platform that's next to the open grave. And Father Donovich looks at Izmar and then to Irina, gives a little nod. And they both, like all three of them actually, collectively begin to recite the last rites. And as they begin speaking Galen, you would actually recognize it. So if you wanted to, you could also go along.
Sure, absolutely.
They say, "Through his holy anointing, may the morning Lord in his love and mercy help with the grace of the Holy Spirit. May the morning Lord who frees you from darkness save you and raise you up into the light of the morning sun. In death, there is life." And at this point, Father Donovich moves over to former Burgermeister Kolonovich, and he places two coins on his eyes. Those that are close enough would recognize these as the emblem of the Morning Lord. And he continues, "Here, Kolyan, is your last sunrise. Go to the arms of Lathander, be in his eternal warm, soothing light. We will miss your cheerful brightness that you shone upon our village. Though it is times of darkness, your bright outlook on family and community pierced through the dark clouds, much like that of Lathander's sun rays. You will cherish your moments, your legacy. It will continue. Dear Izmark and Irina, through you, your father shall live on. And with that, the priest makes his final bow and nods to Izmark, who begins moving the body, the coffin, into the actual grave. So whoever would assist with that, feel free.
And as they move it, that's when Evander would start to sing.
Okay.
In question, so Lathander would be known to people in Faerun, right?
Yes. Oh yeah.
Okay. So
Everyone also make a perception check.
Say everyone.
Yes. Okay. Galen and Ulrich, due to the way that you were actually standing, so your back is mostly towards the back of the road which you guys came into. So you have a good line of sight into the forest that lies beyond the graveyard. And through the mist, you see a dark figure, clad all in black. Can't see the face, but you do recognize or can tell by the posture that it does seem to be like they're bowed, like their head is down as if in prayer. Tasso, because of the way you're standing towards the road, you see a black carriage pull up next to the graveyard. Izmark has his back to the road, so he doesn't recognize it. However, Irina does notice it. And you can see real quick her body tense up, and she lets out a little gasp.
can we react to what we're seeing?
That's why I'm pausing.
Okay.
Ulrich is saying, I see a figure in the woods. Do you see that?
I see it too, laddie. We're not alone.
There's a carriage that just pulled up. We're not a loner.
And upon hearing that, Tasso, Izmark whirls around to face the carriage. And you could just see this, you can just feel this sense of anger emanating. He has nerve to show up here. And he seems to take the stance like he's ready to fight.
Who exactly, laddie, are you referring to?
And at that, he doesn't respond because the door to the carriage opens. And a man walks out. It is a rather tall man, but clearly of elvish origin. But not a type of elf that you guys are familiar with. He has rather kind of purpley, dusky skin. So at first you might think drow, but you can tell it's not quite drow. And he walks directly over to the party.
Can I give one
Go on.
one glance back at the figure in the woods? Are they reacting to this at all?
That figure's gone.
Okay.
He walks directly to the party with his shoulders high. His posture is one of confidence. And you can hear Izmark curse under his breath. You know what Strahd looks like. This is not Strahd.
Mm-hmm.
And you hear Izmar, after he's done cursing, he says, Rahadin, how dare you show up here? This is a place of mourning. And the elf man bows his head. My sincerest apologies, Sir Izmar. But I am here to extend the condolences of my lord. He wishes that you have this. He looks at you, Ulrich. Let me double check. Yes. Because you are the closest to him. And he holds out a letter.
I take it.
As you get close, you hear, as you get within 10 feet or so, just within your mind, it feels like the screaming of 1,000 people wailing in pain. Make a
Sorry, what kind of check?
wisdom, a saving throw.
Saving throw? Okay.
Yep.
Oh.
Hey, hold on. Oh boy.
How come Ulrich's always the one getting hit, hurt, messed up first?
That's his role in the party.
That is.
Yes. The least.
You spring the mousetrap for us.
Yeah.
You know what? I normally will just do average damage. So that's what I'm going to do. So as you grab this letter, you can't take the sound of the pain that seems to be emanating from this person into your mind. And you take 16 damage.
Oh. So do I fall to my knees screaming in pain?
Hey, that's the damage that you're taking?
Yes, I do. Just holding my head. I would imagine too that because of this, Ulrich's magic just reacts and he casts a spell on this person. Because sometimes his magic will do that.
What are you thinking?
The acid.
Okay. Ugh.
So as Ulrich falls to the ground screaming, ah! He speaks in that strange abyssal voice, his eyes roll at the back of his head, and he just vomits black, hissing, sulfur-smelling bile projecting out of his mouth.
Okay.
So here we
Can't
go.
take this guy anywhere.
Yeah. So Rahadin looks down, just kind of moves out of the way, and just kind of looks down at you. And anyone else who's looking on at this, clearly you can hear him say, just look on his face. It just says, pathetic.
Can I just get a gist of what the situation is? I envision in my mind that we're still holding the casket. Am I wrong?
Moving it down, it's probably now within the grave itself.
Okay. Was Ulrich holding his side of the casket and let it go?
I don't believe Ulrich.
I wasn't participating. I was standing back.
Oh, okay. I just thought we're gonna drop this poor guy because he let go. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're still lowering it down. Okay.
It's probably now down there, but he moves his attention from the pathetic man on the ground who's vomiting on him, and looks back to Izmar and especially Irina. And he says, my lord is deeply grieved by your loss. He wishes to call on you shortly, but he understands you will need some time. Take this time, remember your father, and be well. And he turns around and goes back to the carriage.
So if
Ulrich kicks back. He's trying to recover. He's still screaming, just grabbing his head, just on the ground, just scrambling away from this man.
You have a letter in your hand, though.
Did I grab it?
Yes.
Okay.
I guess I would.
Evander would actually want to rush up and seeing
Right,
the
yeah.
pain. He kind of had was singing a song, was kind of interrupted by all this, and he wants to, if he can, quickly cast Cure Wounds because he doesn't know what's hurting him, but he wants to do something to help.
And this helps, right? This cure wounds.
Yep. It's just like regular damage.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah.
But
So
you would get the sense that it was just something that happened because you got close.
Says you're helping, or he attacked me. There was some kind of some kind of psychic attack. I heard so much screaming.
Evander's kind of down on his knees. He didn't touch you. We didn't see anything.
It was mental. It was all inside my head.
Are you sure, laddie, just wasn't too much breakfast?
No.
Can Evander focus on this guy as he's retreating away and try to do some sort of... Oh, I don't know. He doesn't have any spells that detect magic or anything, but can he tell with any investigation or anything, arcana, what anything is emanating from this guy?
I would say pretty much anyone who's used to doing some magic, you would know. You didn't see him casting anything. You didn't hear him say a particular word.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't believe he cast a spell to hurt Ulrich.
Conrad's gonna cast Detect Magic and look at this letter.
Okay.
I'm still holding it.
You're gonna take it from Ulrich?
No, I just want to look at the letter and see if it's
Just
magic.
squeezing onto it like
Well,
I don't
no,
even realize I'm
no.
holding.
From it.
Is this elf?
sorry?
Go, Zach. What were you gonna say?
What did you say?
There's no magic coming from it.
So he didn't cast a spell, and the letter isn't magic, but something damaged.
And we didn't
Ulrich.
touch, right?
No, he just handed him the letter, and
Just the passing on of the
basically-
leather.
yeah.
So.
it was like he had to give him the letter because Ulrich was freaking out. So it's probably just instinctual. He just grabbed it, but it wasn't. He was probably hurting a little bit before, like he was hearing the sounds before the letter actually touched his hands.
And Evander didn't get any sense when he was focused on him. He didn't sense anything.
No.
Okay.
Nothing
And-
except for what I told you.
And this elf is walking away now with his back turned to me.
Right now, he's probably at the carriage door. It's open, and he's about to.
Before he enters, so he reaches into his cloak and pulls out a small hand crossbow he's had concealed there all this time. Takes a shot.
Okay.
Evander wants to try to knock his hand away.
Yeah, Ulrich is he's enraged right now.
All right.
Oh.
Let's see. Hold
Good
on.
shot.
Is there anything I can do to try to stop him since I'm down at his side?
You can do a quick. I'm a little bit torn. Zach, what would you say?
Disadvantage on the attack, probably.
But I
If
feel
someone's interfering with it, yeah, I'd say disadvantage for sure.
So 16.
Yeah, it's still pretty good.
so. Evander's hand comes up just enough to throw your shot off, and
Oh, it doesn't hit.
It does hit the carriage right next to him, and you see the elf man kind of look over at it, and he turns back, and he says, "Out of respect of the man that's being buried, and for my lord and his love for Irina, I will ignore this." And he looks right at you, Ulrich, and says, "But if our paths cross again, well, hope you don't." And he gets into the cage.
You should hope so too.
You hear him chuckle. Okay. And the carriage moves on.
What was the reason for that, laddie?
You're asking me why I shot at him? Look what he did to me.
I'm not even sure what even happened to you, laddie.
There was some kind of magical aura around him that I stepped into that he didn't warn me about. It was like my brain was exploding.
Evander says, "You know who his master is. You're the one who's been saying we cannot fight him. Why would you attack him like that? You have a death wish?"
I'm not gonna let someone just do that to me. He just pulls away from you and stands up. Walks away with the letter.
At this point, actually, Irina stops you and says, what did he give you?
Here.
And she'll take the letter. You can actually open up your prop archon. Number two.
Number 2. The prop. I almost forgot.
I did too, actually. So,
I had to look under some books. I'm like, oh crap, do I have the prop? Ooh. Sealed with the ampersand of Dungeons and Dragons.
oh yeah, I did do that.
Oops.
Oh, wow.
Ooh, oh my.
Oh.
Ooh,
Connor,
this cool seal.
Remind
Oh,
me,
it's gonna show up.
I have to send you something else. Yeah.
Alright, cool.
It's
Alright.
Oh, nice.
a letter with
Irina. Oh no.
Oh.
I can't see you.
So what happened?
Irina. There we go.
Oh, I didn't
But
want to
this
break the seal. It's so beautiful. But I will.
basically what he's seeing.
Did that close?
Oh, it's so small. I can't read it.
There's a
Scroll
translation
down.
at the bottom,
You can
right?
Scroll down, yeah.
Yeah, there's a
Yeah.
translation at the bottom,
Well, not translation, but yeah.
and we'll let Ryan read that.
Yes.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
Oh, you like me to read this? Okay. Okay, here we go. This is from Strahd. All
I
right.
can't see that.
I know.
All right. Dearest Irina, it is with the deepest grief that I learn of the death of your kind and noble father, and especially that it is affecting your young heart beyond all sensation. In this sad world of ours, sorrow eventually comes to all, and to the young it comes with the bitterest agony, because it so often takes them unaware. Your elders no doubt have learned to ever expect it. I am anxious to afford some alleviation of your present distress. Perfect relief is not possible except with time. You surely realize now that you will never smile again. Is not this so? And yet it is a mistake. You are sure to be happy again. To know this, which is certainly true, will make you less miserable now. I have had experience enough to know what I say, and you need only believe it to feel your heart warm once again. The memory of your dear father, instead of agony, will yet be a sad, sweet feeling in your heart, of a purer and holier sort than you have known before. Please present my kindest regards to your afflicted brother, your lord, master, and love, Strahd von Zerovich. Rather a sweet letter, honestly.
Not bad.
It's well written.
And you see, Ismark reading that over the shoulder of his sister. He just kind of spits on the ground. He plays with your emotions, sister. Do not fall prey to this. Father Donovich, this one, Connor, he wanted to know if you had any incense that he could use. I think we should just move on.
Would Ulrich have a better idea what kind of magic this was that affected him?
Probably not.
Okay. But he's assuming, obviously, there was some kind of magical field that he stepped through.
You're not even sure if it if it was magical in nature. You're very discombobulated right now, Ulrich.
Yes. It's something intangible has stricken me.
So the father is buried. Connard, you can follow Father Donovich into the church to get some incense if you'd like.
Yes, please.
And as you do, you see that the church has obviously weathered. It's had better days. Part of the roof is kind of falling in on itself. The plastered walls are flaking, and it's in a poor state. There is a single bell tower that rises at the center, towards the back. And as you're making your way in, you can see that there's maybe one room that's lit, like off. So it's a long hallway, and there's multiple rooms to each side. And then towards the back is basically where all the pews are and whatnot. He leads you into the room to the right that's actually lit, and he does hand you some incense. Make a perception check for me.
Just a second.
Make a perception check for me. Okay. So as you're making your way in, you see the heavy wooden doors of the church. They've been clawed at. And there's even some signs of some fire damage here and there around the church. But he does lead you in, and you do make. He gives you a bundle of incense, and he does ask if this would be sufficient.
Is it sufficient for the spell that I accidentally linked earlier?
The Find Familiar one?
Yep.
I would say yes.
Okay. He will say, "Thank you, Father. I'm very appreciative. I can't help but notice it looks like your church here has seen some perhaps fire. Is there are things well here?
Things could be better, obviously, but there aren't very many people that come to this church anymore.
I find that surprising. I would think in a village like this, people would seek comfort where they could find it, although religion has never been my opiate of choice.
I have found that the people of the village of Barovia find little comfort in religion, whether it be of the Morning Lord or others. They feel forsaken within the shadow of the castle.
So you serve Lathander.
Yes?
He is known in my lands as well, which surprises me somewhat. But in a way, it's reassuring as well.
As you make your way out, give me one more perception check. Okay. Most of the doors on within the hallway here are pretty much closed. Other than the one which seemed to be the office that Donovich took you into, they seem to be kind of left left alone. But the one as you're coming out, it would be on your left. No, you're right. That one's a little bit open, and you can see that in that room, it's worse off than the rest of the church. Like, there are pools of water, there's wood that is broken down from the ceiling beams, and it's littering the floor. But you make your way out, and I think that's a good place to end it. You guys will gather outside of the church to choose what your next steps will be.
All right. Well, last time we ended on a party. This time we ended at a funeral. So
It's come full circle.
Come full.
yeah, we got all the range of emotions going on here. Well, again, I want to say thank you to these awesome people for doing this. Doreen, thank you for leading us on this adventure.
I'm trying.
Trying to keep us.
Hello?
Yeah, you're with us,
You're
Zach. Trying to keep us on the straight and narrow, especially Zach, who keeps wandering off, I guess. But thank you all for everyone. What was that? Go ahead.
Oh, are we closing up?
He's
Yep.
a one more hour.
Yes, only 2 more hours, and then we're done. But we're gonna call it there, and we'll pick up back outside the church next time. So to everyone in the stream watching, I hope you all enjoyed. Thank you for hanging out, keeping us company, and again, really quick, to Shogi, to Archon, to Doreen, to Jeremiah and Zach, thank you all for being a part of this. This is a lot of fun, and I hope you all are enjoying it as much as I am. So,
Absolutely.
all right, well, we will see you all in 2 weeks, and until then, y'all have a great night. Peace out. Happy gaming. We'll see you next time, my friends.